Hey guys, it's your boy Colin, and today we have a very cool video. Some of you guys may recognize this mask right here. This is the one that started it all, and today we're gonna do a little bit of a deep dive into the history of this guy, and it's gonna be pretty extensive. So if you guys don't know about this mask or where it come from, I'm gonna tell you guys everything I know about this mask and where it came from. Let's get it. Alright guys, this is my 98 Proto. Now some of you guys may recognize this from earlier videos. I've had so many people over the years tell me, that Proto, I remember seeing that video on YouTube, that's the reason that I started collecting, or that's, that was the mask that got me into all this, and every time I hear that, it brings me back, because when I made that video, I was on my search, just like you guys, I was researching Kirk masks every single day, and just studying every single detail and where they come from and all the origins of all the masks. And I was reading threads from fucking 20 years ago, just surfing the web and just studying the forum and the gallery and just comparing all the masks. And it's a very deep obsession that happens with most Michael Myers mask collectors. Most of you guys can relate. And I was a big fan of James Carter. Yes, James Carter. I loved his photos and his work, and I studied them every single day, all day. And it's easy to see why. It's pretty obvious. He's the best that's ever made Michael Myers replicas, ever. And pretty much I saved up a bunch of money, and I told my buddy Rod, if you're in the community, you probably know Rod. And I said, hey man, I saved up a bunch of money, and I want to buy a JC mask. So if you see any for sale, send them my way. And so a few days go by, and he sends me a mask that goes for sale. And it was this one. And I got this from a guy named Chris Katros. I'm sure you guys have heard that name before. If you're in the Michael Myers community, you probably definitely know that name. He's a great collector. He's a very nice guy. And he sold me this mask back in maybe 2019, maybe. My search was over, after studying over 1 million masks and doing comparison and contrasting, everything, and, looking at every Kirk mask that ever surfaced, and every nook and cranny, all the way down to the freaking lines in the eyebrows, When I pulled this out of the box, I almost shit my pants, man. Because it was like, I was just like, whoa. You know what I mean? Like this, because, this stuff means a lot to me. It really does. This stuff means a lot. And seeing this in person was mind-blowing after like a year of just staring at Kirks. You know what I mean? Just staring at Kirks for a whole year, real ones. And then to see this in person, it was like everything I had ever wanted. You know, it had everything. You know, the shape, you know, the details, the look. You know, I mean, it's an amazing replica. There's a few things that are on this that are really cool. Now this mark right here, this little freckle right there, that's on the hero mask, actually. If you look at the photos that Mark Roberts took, that's on the hero. Another one that's on the hero, I think, is this. And this is also on the medley Kirk too. If you look at the medley, you'll see that little mark. And it's on a few other Kirks as well, but okay, now I heard the 98 Proto test was the first version. It was a test, and if you see the tests, they're normally beat up and a lot of tooling marks. There's like scrapes on it and dents all over it, and it looks kind of funky. And you know, Nick could have cleaned that up, but I don't really think that that's the case. And I'll tell you exactly why. And this is missing crow's feet. If you look on the H2SMs and other medley related Kirks, there's, you know, like 3 lines on the eyes, and this one doesn't have it. But I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to tell you everything that I know about where this mask came from. So let's get it. All right, so I have some notes here, and I could link you guys all the threads. That's something you guys are into, but all right, so let's start all the way from the beginning, okay? So in the year 2009, okay, there's this guy who posts a thread, and his name is GetBent7XS, okay? And he's on vacation, right? He's on vacation with some friends, and it's November 1st, 2009, okay? And he goes into a comic book store in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he finds the 1998 prototype Kirk mask in the counter. He never said how much that he paid for it, but I'll show you a photo on the screen of the mask that he found. This is a rare one, okay? This is a really, really rare mask, okay? And it's not a 75 Kirk, but it comes from the 75 Kirk mold, and it's very obvious that it does. If you study hard enough, you can tell that it's a direct cast from the 75 Kirks. Now, later on, he ends up selling this mask to Nicholas Art Gallery. A lot of you guys know that name, Nag. He's the guy who made this one. 2012, January 28th, Josh Warren. His name on the board was Sheriff Brackett. Now, I'm not saying any of this to try to stir up drama or to cause any kinds of fights or anything like that. Everything that I'm saying is old news, okay? It's really old news, and if you're in the community, all this stuff is, you know, you probably know all this, but some of you young cats out there, you don't know this, and so I'm telling you guys this. So 2012, January 28th, Josh Warren, aka username Sheriff Brackett, pretty sure. Somebody asked where the 75K comes from. Now, Josh goes on there to say, this is where the 75K comes from. This 98 prototype Kirk that was sold to Nag. And there's a user by the name of John L, who then posts comparison photos of Nag's 75K next to the original 1998 prototype, the one with the eyes in it. So I'll show that on screen. And he just pretty much tells him, you know, Nag's 75K mask was the result of him recasting this 98 Proto comic book shop mask. And it's really cool, honestly. I think it's cool. I love knowing the history of this stuff. And like I said, I'm definitely not trying to stir up any drama or anything like that. So hopefully you guys don't bring up any old fights. But this is all old news, you know, like I said. I mean, look at the dates. I mean, this stuff is old news, man. If you own a Nag 75K, it comes from that comic book shop mask, and technically comes from a direct cast of a 75 Kirk as well. So if you have a 75K, it's the real deal, okay? Unaltered, you know, these are not tooled, these are not changed around, you know, there's guys out there in the community that'll take a Kirk, put it in clay, completely ruin it. You know, they change the eyebrow details. They add a bunch of shit on the forehead. They make the mouth look all weird, you know. These were not messed with, you know. These were cleaned up and preserved and very professionally done, and they were not altered, you know, and to an extent that some of these mask makers retool into their masks. But continuing with the storyline here, on Monday, March 4th, 2013, a username by the username of Colbster. That's right, Colbster. Now, he is an old timer collector. He's been around forever. And if you guys have probably seen the Sean Clark video where Tommy Lee Wallace overhauls the Nag Classic Kirk, and they say, "This is for our friend Colby." Yes, Colbster is who they were talking about. That is the guy who had that Nag mask rehauled by the one and only Tommy Lee Wallace. So anyway, 2013, Mr. Colbster here, he posts a thread saying, "Is this the 1975 master copy?" And what he has is a foam-filled 75 Kirk blank. And I'm going to show you guys pictures of that. Now this is an awesome copy, okay? So I don't know how or when or why, but I'm pretty sure somehow Josh Warren ended up obtaining this exact blank, foam-filled blank. And I'm gonna show a photo of it when it was in Josh Warren's collection. Josh ended up with with I think a replica of it, I think, and I'll show you that too. But I think that the '98 comic book did come from the foam master. Nick Art Gallery was able to 100% restore the '98 Proto's shape back to it matches that foam master. I mean, perfectly. The details of that foam-filled blank line up perfectly with this one. Every single last little mark, you know, the mouth marks, the fact that it doesn't have crow's feet, the neck, there's a lot of the neck details that line up perfectly with that one. So yeah, that's what leads me to believe, you know, that this probably comes from that. It has the exact same shape from a lot of the photos. It has the, you know, the fat cheeks, you know, has the same look to it. So I believe that 75 Kirk, you know, foam-filled master is what this comes from. A fun fact, if you guys didn't know this, but the somnambulist James Mangrum ID mask, when he was sculpting that mask, he actually used that foam-filled master as reference on his sculpt. He had it sitting right next to him. So I forget who owns it now. I don't even know. Somebody bought it from Josh Warren, I think, but somehow the somnambulist used that as reference on his sculpt mask, the ID. I thought that was really cool. It obviously adds to the factor of why that mask that he made is so accurate, because he took the time to really put in every little last detail, you know, all the way down to the shape of the head, the ears, the wrinkles, you know, everything about it, you know. And that ID mask is, we're gonna talk about that another day, all right? It's an amazing mask, so shout out to James. But yeah, I figured I'd give you guys a little history lesson on where this guy comes from, you know. It's very fun to me to see all that stuff, and a lot of it's just me doing homework and speculating and just kind of putting two and two together, you know. And you know, everything lines up and matches up to me, and I'm sure you guys can use your own judgment here, you know, kind of put the pieces together, you know. But this is the one that started it all for me, or I guess ended it all, really, because I had a bunch of replicas before this, and then this was the one that, you know, ended it for me. I was like, yep, that's it. This one was finished by Mr. James Carter, and it's just amazing. I mean, the hair on it, you know, just so, you know, Kirkish, you know. It's very crazy, matted up, you know. All the paintwork is just insane. It has this crazy grime and this weird sort of overcast type shadow on it, you know. when you could see it's not stark white, you know. It kind of has this grayish, you know, look to it, and it just kind of looks like this might have been what the mask looked like after H1, you know. Maybe they wrapped up filming prior to sticking it under Deborah Hill's bed or wherever they put it at, you know. This is probably what it might have looked like after filming H1. So this was really cool to me to have, you know, it kind of looks like, you know, filming wrapped, took the mask home, you know, this is what it looked like, you know. Like this is the mask after the movie, you know. I got the mask, you know. This is after they wrapped up filming, you know. This is this is it, you know. Taking this baby home. So but yeah, the cool thing is I'm kind of friends with James Carter now. So, you know, back then, you know, I wasn't really friends with him, but now after all these years, we've kind of become homies a little bit, and it's really cool, and it's nothing's changed. I'm still a big fan of his work. I mean, he just makes it look so authentic and just, you know, used. He makes it look used and, you know, he makes it look like it was from the factory, and then somebody used it and you know, converted it, you know, and it's just, I don't know how he does it, you know. He's truly a master at replicating these masks. And I know that there's a lot of people who prefer, you know, other stuff and whatever, and it's not that big of a deal, you know. You don't need to go crazy and, you know, whatever, but to me, it's cool as fuck when you see somebody replicate something, you know, down to the fucking every last detail, you know. I mean, you get the hairline, it's just crazy, you know, and you get the same, you know, type of fiber and the same paint job, and you add this crazy, you know, weathering, and it looks like, you know, spray painted, you know. Like certain spots, you know, it's like in like mist, you know. Certain spots it's like really heavy, you know, like maybe he held the can a little too hard right there, you know. The eye cuts, you know, just amazing. You know, he really replicated every last little detail, you know. And I know some people don't care and it's not that important, but to me, it was goddamn cool to see that somebody would put so much passion and time into creating such a mask, you know. I mean, this is a true collector's piece, you know. This is a true Michael Myers collector's piece. And I'm extremely happy to have this one, you know. I've had it for all these years, and I don't plan on ever getting rid of it. It's amazing. But yeah, and I, you know, this was the one, you know, man. This was the one. And it's a very, very nice replica, man. It is. It was worth every single penny. And this is the one, you know. This is that one in that video that everybody always talks to me about the, you know, the 98 Proto, you know. And a lot of people talk about Colin's Proto, and, you know, it's gained a lot of popularity over the years, you know. And I don't even post about it much, you know. I don't really talk about it much, you know. It's one of, you know, it's my mask, and I tuck it away and I hide it, you know. I keep it in a really nice, safe place, in the dark, hidden in a nice, cool environment to avoid anything happening to it. I really only wear it maybe once a year for like a minute. You know, I don't wear it a lot. And as the years go by, I wear it less and less, you know. I think there was a year where I didn't even wear it at all. But that's pretty much it, man. If anything ever does happen to this guy, I'll probably just end up getting it foam filled and saving it forever. But yeah, this was a video that I think a lot of people wanted to see, you know, and bring this guy out to talk about. You know, this is a super nice piece, you know. It's a one-of-a-kind piece, you know. You can search through a million copies, you know, and you might rarely find one that is this insane. So thank you to everybody who's been showing me all the love over the years over this mask, you know. To me, it means a lot, you know. It really does. It means a bunch. Um, to have a piece that I own and cherish, and to have other people, you know, hyping it up and you know, carrying on this sort of legend about it, you know. It's really cool. And I'm gonna take care of this guy, you know, and hopefully we'll be enjoying seeing it for years to come. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, you know. I hope you guys enjoyed, and maybe you learned something here, you know. There's a lot of history in this hobby, you know. When I came into it, I used to just read shit all the fucking time, you know. I used to just sit and read and sift through old threads, and you know, the forum is amazing for preserving that type of stuff. I know a lot of you guys are just Instagram Facebookers, but you know, back in the day, you know, we had the forums. And I used to just surf it on my dad's account and just surf, man, just search, you know, and seeing all these cool masks. You know, I remember thinking James Carter had, you know, screen used masks. You know, I used to see his photos. It's like black and white grainy photos in like this fucking boiler room, you know, and I'd be like, yo, hold on, like, is that the mask? Like, wait, like, is that the screen used one? Like, what? They were so good, you know. I remember when Nick Mopagano first dropped the NHK. I thought it was cool, man. I thought the advertisement was cool, you know. He had the captain and the killer, you know. It's old times, man, old times. But never gets old, man, you know. Never grow up. But that's gonna do it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, man. As always, man, stay spooky, and have a good week, man. Peace, love, rock and roll, baby.